the moon to a city fair rode I. There are lines of marching men in squadrons passed me by. No pipe did hum, no battle drum did sound its loud tattoo, but the angler's bell over Liffey swell rang out in the foggy dew. Top of the mornings to you, laddies. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's episode. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Happy St. Patrick's Day special. Fuck it. Take off the happy. Take two. Welcome to the St. Patrick's Day special. It doesn't have to be happy. Why? Because daylight saving still has us fucked up. I don't know what life is since Sunday. I'll be honest with you. Your boy's been distraught. Just coming in hot, getting weird on a Wednesday. I looked at the clock and I go, oh shit, it's St. Patrick's Day, me laddies. Top of the morning to you, laddies. Listen, my voice still hasn't woken up. It's all good, baby. You know why? Listen, because it's St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick's Day, that's what today is. And listen, a lot of times you hear me repping that Puerto Riqueño, that Puerto Rican pigeon swoops down in Call of Duty, booyakasha, takes them all out, the Puerto Rican pigeon. But listen, cat's out the bag, pigeons flew the coop. Your boy's not full Puerto Rican, okay? Take a look at me. Does this look like a full-blood taíno? No, that's mi padre. That's my father, okay? That's the full Boricua. The man was born in the jungles, the bosque of Puerto Rico, okay? The man grew up in a house. He was born in a home that had dirt floors. The man is as Puerto Rican as they come, okay? But mi madre, mi little blonde-haired, blue-eyed mother, okay? You want to know what my mother looks like? Picture Hitler's dream, just the poster child for Nazi Germany, okay? Hashtag, you canceled. Now, mi mother, she does not come from Puerto Rican stock. All right. My mom comes from what you call Viking stock, as she likes to put it. I don't know because I'm like, you're 5 foot nothing. How are you a Viking? Did a little research. Vikings weren't that big. So my mom could be right. But she did the Ancestry.com. Scottish Irish. Okay. That's this long-winded statement I'm getting to. Scottish Irish. Okay, it's on St. Patrick's Day. Listen, I'm a terrible Puerto Rican Irish kid because I don't even drink anymore. So I'm an embarrassment to both cultures, all right? It's just a different story. People ask me, Evan, why don't you drink anymore? Too many nights where I don't remember what happened on those nights, okay? Too many years of living hard. You live hard, all right? You live hard. You can only do that for so long, okay? Revved the engine a lot in college, all right? I was like a Tasmanian devil, you know? Too many nights where I woke up in the morning like the Incredible Hulk, just with the ripped up shorts, trying to figure out what happened the night before, you know? Having to solve a Scooby-Doo style mystery to figure out what went on. Have like a fucking red stain on my shorts and be like, is this ketchup or blood? It's definitely not ketchup, you know? Broken glass on the floor. I'd be like, a clue. Got ridiculous, all right? And that's why I just don't drink. You can't keep that up forever. And you don't want to be going in your 30s like that, or your 40s, and you can't. I have two speeds. It's either off or on, all right? I'm a light switch when it comes to drinking. I'm a light switch. Because you get one beer in me, I'm good. I'm like, yeah, I'm just chilling. You get more than one in me, and then I'm like, so who we killing? Okay? That's where we go. That's where the level goes to, okay? I'm a race car. You either don't put that high octane in me, or you better let me on the track, because we're racing, okay? And guess what? We race for pinks around here, all right? We race for pinks. But yeah, don't drink anymore. But my mom is Scottish Irish. My dad's Puerto Rican. A beautiful blend. This is what you get, okay? This is what you get. What's funny, though, is like as I get older, I'm starting to turn into an owl. I realize with my hair and everything, can't take my hat off because of the headphones, but I'm turning into an owl. I realize I'm getting bushy eyebrows. My hair's starting to curl up in weird ways. I'm getting wise. So I think my spirit animal is an owl. That's what we're sticking with. I don't know what that has to do with St. Patrick's Day, but you figure it out, okay? This is a choose your own adventure podcast where you try to figure out what the fuck I'm talking about. All right. But I got to go back to that song I sang in the beginning. That is The Foggy Dew by, what is it? Sinead O'Connor. Such an awkward way to say it, or the way it's written. Sinead O'Connor. But The Foggy Dew, a great Irish song. Okay. Conor McGregor walked out to it at, I believe, UFC 189 live with her singing. Such a powerful moment. If you've never seen Sinead O'Connor, Conor McGregor walk out at, I believe, UFC 189. Let me figure that out. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's probably the best UFC walkout of all time, and just the most powerful for the Irish people. A lot of people don't know, man. The Irish, they went through some shit when they first came to America. And I don't know why I did that. They were treated pretty poorly, you know. They don't really get kind of the respect they deserve for what the hardship when they immigrated. And I think it was when they went to England? Okay. Let me Google this. When America despised the Irish. So a famine forces an unprecedented migration. Fleeing a shipwreck of an island, nearly 200 million refugees from Ireland crossed the Atlantic to the United States in the dismal wake of the Great Hunger. Beginning in 1845, the fortunes of the Irish began to sag along with the withering leaves of the country's potato plants. Potatoes are so Irish. Beneath the old sod, festering potatoes bled a putrid red-brown mucus as a virulent pathogen scorched Ireland's staple crop and rendered it inedible. While the potato blight struck across Europe, no corner of the continent was as dependent on tubers for survival as Ireland, which was mired in extreme poverty as a result of centuries of British rule. Packed with nutrition and easy to grow, potatoes were the only practical crop that could flourish on the minuscule plots doled out by the wealthy British Protestant landowners. Irish consumed 7 million tons of potatoes each year. I started turning into a pirate. They ate potatoes for dinner. They ate them for lunch. They even ate them for breakfast. According to Irish Famine Facts by John Keating, the average adult working male in Ireland consumed a staggering 14 pounds of potatoes per day, while the average adult Irish woman ate 11.2 pounds. All right, we went pirate again. Okay, but that's pretty nuts how much they really ate potatoes. Just straight carbo loading. Wow, so 7 years of the famine. Barefoot mothers with clothes dripping from their bodies clutched dead infants in the arm as they begged for food. Fuck. Wild dogs searching for food fed on human corpse. Fuck. The country's legendary 40 Shades of Green stained the lips of the starving who fed on tufts of grass in a futile attempt for survival. Wow. Desperate farmers sprinkled their crops with holy water, and hollow figures with eyes as empty as their stomachs scraped Ireland's stubble fields with callous hands searching for just one healthy potato. Typhus, dysentery, tuberculosis, and cholera tore through the countryside as horses maintained a constant march, carting spent bodies to mass graves. Wow. British neglect exacerbates the Irish plight. More than just the pestilence was responsible for the Great Hunger. A political system ruled by London and the economic system dominated by British absentee landlords were co-conspirators. For centuries, British laws had deprived Ireland's Catholics of their right to worship, vote, speak their language, and own land, horses, and gun. Okay, so the Irish were enslaved. Now, with the famine raging, the Irish were denied food. Under armed guards, food convoys continued to export wheat, oats, and barley to England while Ireland starved. Hey, fuck the English, huh? If I have any of you guys on the podcast, Sam Holland, you try to come over here now after learning what you did to the Irish, gonna have some words, mate. That's pretty nuts. I've never actually looked into it this much. The 5 minutes I spent on this in the podcast is the most I've put on looking into actual what happened to the Irish. I just know it's bad. See, this is what's important from looking into history and knowing, because you start looking at, and I know this is a controversial thing to say, and it is because it's so recent and it was done here, but you look at like American slavery. Listen, Puerto Ricans were in the slave trade. It is what it is, and it's a terrible thing that never should have happened. But then you start looking through history, and there's some crazy statistic that every single country and every single group of people have had slavery and had to deal with slavery, all the way back to the Egyptians, which a lot of people think Egypt was so cool and shit. Who the fuck do you think built all those pyramids? You know? And this is some shit that is pretty close to slavery when they're exporting all their food, won't let them own land. Starving them out. That's pretty terrible. Man. All right, let's stop reading this. Now we're just getting sad. So yeah, Irish. That's the other half. Is it's I say Irish because it's easy to wrap it up as that, but it's more like Scottish Irish. I think Scottish Irish is like the dominant part of it. It's like 70% or some shit. But then there's a little bit of other mixes in there. I don't know, bunch of white shit. But you know what your boy is at the end of the day? 51% Puerto Rican. 51% Puerto Rican, okay? Did I do 23andMe? No. But I can dance too good, okay? These hips, they don't lie. Not even ever. Not once. All right? But Ireland is such a cool place that I want to go. That's the one place that I haven't been that I think would just be so dope to visit, to just look along the rolling green hills. You got to drink Guinness, in a pub in Ireland. And I know I'm such a basic bitch. This is like I'm outlining the perfect Ireland vacation on Pinterest or some shit. But I just want that experience. I want to just go out into a field, pick up a potato from the dirt, and go, that'd be a good one, laddie. And then just start crunching on it, raw. I don't give a shit. I'm going to raw dog that potato, okay? Dirt in my mouth, I don't care. I'll eat it raw. But what I've also learned about Ireland and heard, two different things, is the Guinness there, the beer there, it doesn't taste like a Guinness here. It's not as heavy, and it's actually a great beer. I'll be honest with you. Every time I ever drink a Guinness here in America, it's way too filling for me. It's too thick, giggity, and I don't like it. It's just, I feel like it could be better. And of course, it's just the American version of Guinness. You know how we fuck everything up. It's like buying, even though it's made by Goya, it's like buying sofrito in the bottle at Vallarta rather than making it yourself. It's just not as fresh, tastes a little different, and you're going to have a bad time. But at this point in the podcast, I would like to say an Irish prayer for you guys to bless your St. Paddy's Day. Okay, I know a lot of you are going to be getting drunk and getting fucked up tonight. And do that. Enjoy it. But do it safely. All right? So ladies and gentlemen, may the road rise up to meet you. May the wind always be at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face, the rain fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. Bars. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Bars. Okay? Listen, when you look at the Irish people, the fighting Irish, you just see weathered, tough people in the core of it. You got that Irish blood, it burns hot. Why? Because you just been through shit. That's what I love about the two cultures that I'm from is, we'll say Scottish Irish and we'll say Puerto Rican. Both, I would say, minorities. If there's a minority white, it's the Irish, right? Okay? It's definitely them. They went through so much hard shit. It's the fucking English you gotta look out for. Fucking queens and kings and shit. Those people are fucked up. Off with your head. Looking sideways at Meghan Markle's son. Like, has he been outside lately, or is that his skin color? Racist ass old people. But both those cultures almost wiped out, Puerto Ricans had to deal with that a lot. From the fucking Spaniards. There's been so much. That's why, if a Puerto Rican does a 23andMe, it usually comes back. There'll be a little bit of English in there. There'll be Spaniard and there'll be Taino. And it's been a crazy thing of, how much Spain came in and just completely wiped out a lot of the Taino Indians. And history is a weird thing because you kind of look back, you start getting back there, man. It's just all fucked up. Pillaging was just part of the program, and it's like, it's crazy. And I feel like that's something that gets lost with all this canceled shit. Like when we start looking at all of this stuff, we should really be looking at cultures as a whole rather than we start singling out. And listen, I know, it's crazy. I feel like if we start looking at cultures as a broad look of where we came from, what really happened, what is still going on today. There's still slavery in Africa. I don't know if you guys, I'm sure you guys are smart people. If you're listening to this podcast, you're a smart person. There's still slavery going on in Africa. There's still the pygmies enslaved. There's still places in Australia where like the Aborigines are still not treated with equality. There's places all over the world. There's still all this stuff that goes on. But we get so fucking focused on shit that's like just scratching the surface. Hey, maybe we should cancel Pepe Le Pew. Okay, but what are we going to do? What are we going to do about reality? Like, is this really the most efficient way to go about this? Or is it low-hanging fruit? And because it's in mainstream media, we can cancel it. But it's like, what are we going to do? Because it's like, if we start doing something for one group of people, are we going to start doing it for everybody who experienced that kind of thing? And is it going to be a weird, I don't know what rabbit hole we're about to go down, but let's not go into it, huh? Let's stay on the surface with St. Patrick's Day. Listen, your boy went to college, obviously. Why? Because I look like a frat boy. I know it. Listen, you don't have to lie to me. I know. I have a mirror. So I've celebrated my fair amount of St. Patty's Day. And what does St. Patrick's Day mean in the States? It means corned beef and cabbage, okay? And it also means getting fucked up. Drinking to get fucked up. You're not drinking to just have a casual beer, unwind, maybe watch the game. No, you're drinking to get fucked up. And I'm going to tell you what is the actual reason we celebrate St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick, although he never was canonized by the Catholic Church, was born to a wealthy family in AD 387 in Kilpatrick, Scotland. Bars. His real name was Myan Suckett. They should have kept it. They should have kept his name Myan Suckett. Spelled Succat. Suckett. Because how dope would it have been if we were celebrating Suckett Day. Fellas, am I right? This would have been such a dope holiday. Back to the story. It was its extensive missionary work in Ireland for which Patrick is famous. During the 30 years of work there, he supposedly converted over 135,000 people, established 300 churches, and consecrated 350 bishops' bars. Patrick died on March 17th, 461. Excuse me. He was old. For over a millennium, the Irish have celebrated St. Patrick's Day on March 17th. 461. 461. Isn't that crazy? Because we're such a young country that this motherfucker was in 461. That's just nuts. That's just nuts. Because sometimes it feels like life didn't start till the United States did, you know? But here's the thing. Each year, millions of people celebrate St. Patrick's Day. It is a national holiday in Ireland when people do not work, but worship and gather with family. In the United States, the first Patrick's Day parade was held in New York on March 17th, 1762. It consists largely of Irish soldiers. Today, St. Patrick's Day is celebrated by wearing green, which symbolizes spring as well as Irish culture. I like that. But listen to this. This is what is so interesting about American culture. We don't give two fucks about the religious aspect of St. Patrick's Day. Not at all. Sometimes people don't even take the time to write out the saint. They just put ST because they don't give a shit about it. We are only trying to get fucked up on St. Patrick's Day. And I've had this told to me by Irish fellas, and I've seen it on the internet. I don't know how completely true it is, but they say St. Patrick's Day in Ireland, they don't even dress up for it. They don't treat it like this huge let's get fucked up thing, and maybe because they drink a lot. But like every day St. Patrick's Day for them, right? But like here, it's an opportunity to get fucked up. Like we just commercialize everything, you know? Fucking Christmas, Thanksgiving. People are always like, dude, it's so funny on Christmas when people are like, put the Christ back in Christmas. I remember I saw a sign that said, Jesus is coming for you. Bro, I can't handle it. Whenever you put coming for you, like whenever you put coming in a sentence now, I can't handle it. I'm too fucking immature for that shit. Too immature. But I like St. Patrick's Day. You know, when I was a little kid, my mom would celebrate St. Patrick's Day by turning the milk green. That's how I knew it. That's how I knew St. Patrick's Day. Thought that shit was tight, you know? Like, how did we end up with Easter eggs also? And the Easter bunny. How weird that we just are like, we're going to do our version of it. And they're like, well, you know, this is about Jesus. Nah, it's about a fucking rabbit to me. Shit's wild. Shit is wild. What else we got going on? Listen, daylight savings has fucked me up. I don't know what is going on this entire week. Does anybody else feel that way? If you do, slide in my DMs. Just be like, I feel it too. I feel it too. Okay? Because I just been all over the place. Haven't felt myself this entire goddamn week. Okay? And it could be coming up on the last, next week's going to be pretty much my last full week in California way, you know, before I hit the, you know, tie up the wagon, get Beowulf out front and, you know, hit that old dusty trail to Texas. Pretty excited about it. It's going to be my first gig this Friday night. It's going to be on Facebook streaming. It's not a Zoom show, but it is. I'm doing, I don't know, I think it's like a 10-minute set for this music group. Shout out to Doc Ventura. That is going to be unveiling their single. And it's going to be through a live stream. So that'll be on Facebook. If I find out where, I'll post it. Excited for that. Dusting off the old jokes, the old giggle makers, getting them all ready for Texas. And, you know, just like a game cartridge, just taking the jokes out and blowing in the cartridge. stick it back in, because guess what, Texas? I'm coming for you. Giggity. Bars, callback. But it should be good. Should be good. Listen, other news in my life, I had to take Beowulf to the vet yesterday. I had to take Beowulf to the vet because I had to prove that she had a rabies vaccine. I misread a 7. I thought it was a 7. It was a 9. So when I got there, I drove 45 minutes to get there. Found out I didn't even need to get her a rabies vaccine. And then I got her some other shit. But then the vet told me the bitch is 10 pounds overweight. 10 pounds. I've been getting this dog fat. You want to know what my secret is? This is terrible. And I'm not going to do it again, okay? Don't shame me. I'll put a little rice and beans sometimes on her food. Why? It's a Puerto Rican fucking dog, okay? Take a look at my dog. Look at the pictures of her. That's a goddamn Puerto Rican dog, okay? Don't at me, all right? But now I got to start running her. Now I got to find some good dog food with glucosamine in it, because now she has joint pain from being fat as fuck. I'm sorry, I'm not dogless. She can't speak English. I guess she can a little bit. She doesn't know what I'm calling her. I'm not fat shaming her to her face. But it's been real, ladies and gentlemen. It's been real. It's been real weird, okay? I feel like people are getting over the pandy, right? Isn't it weird that now it's basically a year? This has been a year with the pandy. A whole year. Happy birthday, coronavirus, you know? Basically, 1 year ago, I remember you were just a local act. And now you're Mr. Worldwide, just ruining everybody's lives. Or Miss Worldwide. I don't know what your gender pronouns are. It, they, pathogen. I don't know. I don't know what to call you. But like sometimes I'll just stop and I'll just be like, hey, isn't that weird that we're all playing this giant game of the floor is lava, except the floor is people? Or just like a lot of people just hid away for an entire year looking like Smeagol, didn't even get sunlight. Listen, there was parts of the pandemic where it's like you really just hung out inside and like didn't go anywhere. A lot of my life has been shut down. I was pretty good, you know, about not going anywhere for an entire year. Didn't do stand-up, didn't do jiu-jitsu, and it's fucking rough. And I feel like I'm starting to feel the effects of it. Real talk. And I get it. Like, what is this, Mental Health Awareness Month? I feel like it's always should be mental health awareness. But like, that's been something this past year where it's like, I feel like, especially these last couple months, I've been more on edge with everything, where I'm revved up. Okay? I'm revved up. Last night I went to pick up food. This dude was parked in the middle of the street. And then he waves me on like I'm supposed to, just go in between the two cars. There's barely any room. And then I just look at him and I go, this isn't a fucking parking spot, because he's parked in the street. And then I thought about that. If he had reacted violently, I probably would have met him halfway, you know? And then I thought about that as I was driving away. I was like, Evan, this isn't you. You're not a road rage guy. What's going on, guy? What's going on, fella? And I said, it's this goddamn pandy. It's this goddamn pandy mixed with daylight savings. And it's like, it's really, there's a point, you know? And I don't know what everybody's feelings are on the pandemic. I don't know. There's some people, I know a lot of people who life just went on and they didn't really stop doing anything. Good for them. Good for them. If, you know, I understand, you know, I know I have listeners who are in their, you know, early 20s and everything. I check the demographics, baby. I check the demographics. I got the numbers. And I understand that you cool cats and kittens out there, it's a very vital time in your life and you're very social butterflies. I get it. If you're not around someone who's at risk and you guys want to, I don't know, hang out with your boys and tickle each other's buttholes, whatever you kids do now, I don't know. Why not? You know? And then if there's people who are like, I got family members who are at risk and I'm doing this and that, I understand it completely. One thing I haven't liked about the pandemic is the weird shaming people on both sides of the line. There's been a lot of shame of like shaming people for wearing a mask and then like treating the pandemic like it's real. And then there's been a lot of shaming of like not wanting to wear the mask and, oh, you're killing your grandma. And people are like, joke's on you, my grandma's been dead for years. Ha ha. And then shaming them for, not thinking the pandemic's real. There has to be something where we meet in the middle of understanding each other. And it feels like that's something that's kind of gone away, is understanding. Like, one of my biggest things is I hate, and maybe because I've had to be around people who couldn't admit they were wrong and people who, no matter what, will die on a hill. I've made it a very strong thing in my character where I'm like, dude, you can be completely wrong about your ideas and you can change your ideas. And you could be very emotional and passionate about something, but if new information comes to you, you can be wrong and you can accept you're wrong. So I have no problem accepting that I can be wrong about things. And when you kind of have that outlook on life, you take your ego out of being wrong. And you take the insecurity of having discussions about things that you could possibly be wrong. And I think that's something that's kind of gone away. And I see it, on the very small times that I go on Facebook or the toxicity of Twitter, where you see people be like, they want to write out this long, emotional, political statement about masks, about, presidential candidates, whatever it is. And then they'll put a caveat: I'm not here to argue with people. If you try to argue with me, you're blocked. Or they'll just be like, I won't engage. What are you talking about? There is no place in this world where things aren't up for discussion. If you're going to make a bold statement in a public venue, you got to be able to at least talk to people. And that's like a vital way to learn, is discussing ideas. And also not being so rigid in your belief system that you just think you're above it. Because the reality is like, you see the irony in so many people who are saying they're open-minded. And so many people saying like, oh, blah, 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 all this bullshit we heard throughout this past year. But they're so closed-minded that actually looking at any other side besides theirs. And it's just like, the irony is insane. The contradictions. And I think that's what's like irked me the most throughout this pandemic, was seeing so much hypocritical shit. And I'm sure I've said hypocritical shit on this podcast, but I'll admit it, Take anything I say with a grain of salt. I bet if you create a timeline of my view on coronavirus and everything, I bet it's changed so much throughout this past year. And why? Because our information has changed so much. Results, data, everything's changed so much through this pandy, And there's people who are like, they take such pride in being like, I fucking knew it wasn't real the whole time, It gets so weird. People who want to shame you, But yeah, it's one of those things where like I'm hitting a point where I'm like, I gotta do something, the monotony and the repetitiveness of the pandemic every day, over and over and over again. It's like, I gotta figure out something. I gotta get out of this goddamn place. I'm a peacock. You gotta let me fly, So I want to end this episode with this, okay? I know people are stressed out. People are having, pandemic depression, pan-pression, if you will. Bars copyrighted. You got to be nice to yourself, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, you listening right now, I want you to take a deep breath. Ready? Breathe in with me. Let out a little smile, a little giggle. Bars. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Look behind you. I'm just kidding. I'm not there. I'm in your mind. I'm in your head right now. Take another breath. Let it out. It's okay, all right? It's okay. Everything's going to be good. You just got to remember, let yourself off the hook a little bit every now and then. And remember, no matter what, I still love you. Top of the morning to you, laddies.